Moab? Anything about Moabites? Any Moabites in your family?
They weren't good.
What's your wallet? What?
I wouldn't tell you.
They weren't good?
I wouldn't tell you if they were.
They were very nice.
Obviously they weren't.
They were very nice among themselves. We don't know anything about their civilization, do we?
Sure.
Oh, we know lots about their civilization, really. That's a new discovery to me.
Inscription.
A long inscription.
On the Moabite stone.
The stele,
That's
the Moabite
right.
stele,
It's a
where
stele.
King Mesha of Moab says, Israel is destroyed, his seed is not.
Exactly.
It's
which
good.
is,
It's good if you have a head like an addict.
Remember what what's his name said? Mark Twain.
Yes.
The account of my demise has been greatly exaggerated.
Yes, yes. But that is really, at least it was. I think they discovered something older. But that particular stone, it's a big black basalt stone. It would look really nice on your balcony. And it says, among other things, all the exploits of King Mesha, the king of Moab. And as I said before, he claimed to have destroyed us. But you will note, looking around, that we are here, thank God, and he is not. Which is a shame, because I'd love to talk to the fellow. But we do have a story about him. Balak, the king of Moab. Anybody know Balak? Balak, it's a great, nobody names their kid Balak anymore.
Wonder why.
I really think, and also a good name for a goldfish. Yes. All right. So, Balak knows that the Israelites are on their way. They are coming through his country. Now, I know on a previous occasion, the Israelites said to the reigning monarch, I don't know his name, we will keep to the king's highway. We will not sway to the right or to the left. But Balak, the king of Moab, says, oh my goodness, the Israelites are here. There goes the neighborhood. They will lick up the produce of our land as an ox licks up grass. Have you ever seen an ox lick up grass?
No.
Really? Yes, Jason?
No,
Thank
absolutely.
you. You can never have too many
I
oxen.
grew up in the 60s, so I saw a lot of things. So.
Oh, right. You grew up in the
You
farming
sure of that
area.
now?
Yes. All right. So he's not very happy about this. Now let's talk about the long enmity between Moab and the Israelites. Return with me, if you will, to Lot. If you recall Lot, Lot was Abraham's nephew. Lot tried to imitate his uncle in terms of hospitality, but he was a miserable failure. Why? You should always become acquainted with the neighborhood you're going to be living in before you actually move there, sign a lease, get a mortgage, and all that other stuff. He moves to Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, Sodom and Gomorrah are not destroyed because of the gay thing. They are destroyed because they do not practice the mitzvah of hachnasat orchim, which is welcoming guests. Okay? So, anyway, in this particular episode, can't remember the Torah portion name, but it doesn't matter. God sends not one, not two, but 3, count them, angels. And if you recall the 1969 mega epic, The Bible in the Beginning, narrated by John Huston, whose voice I cannot possibly do, but all 3 of those angels looked like Peter O'Toole. And that solves an awful lot of questions for me. Just be aware, if you meet an angel, he is going to be Irish, over 6 feet tall, and have more than a passing acquaintance with Lawrence of Arabia, who was short, dark-haired, and rode motorcycles. Never mind. Okay. So, anyway, the 3 angels come. What does the first angel do? She tells Abraham and Sarah they're going to have a baby. Good. I was going to say tractor, but I was wrong. Okay, a baby. The second one comes because each angel, you should understand this. If you run into an archangel, that's gold, because archangels can do anything they want. And we have various archangels, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Uziel. But regular angels, run-of-the-mill angels, they perform one mission, and then they are reduced to heavenly ether. Puff. Okay? This is a scientific revelation. You should be aware.
Proven fact.
So, angel number 2 is there to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, which he does by an earthquake, by a meteor shower, bad plumbing. Say again?
How do you know it's a he angel?
It. Let's go with it. The problem is the English language is severely limited. We do not have a respectful gender. My son's goldfish is an it. Actually, his turtle is an it. He's finished with the goldfish because they all went to goldfish heaven. But the turtle's doing okay. Anyway, so should I call him it?
Doesn't matter.
As in the cousin?
Goldfish or it's?
Oh, goldfish are its. You have to pick them up and look at the undercarriage to see what gender they belong to. It's even harder with owls. You can't tell anything with owls.
36 years, wasn't it?
The owls really don't.
He was 23.
23, sorry. Yeah.
No, as a matter of fact, oh gosh, I'm jumping all over the place. On Wednesday night in current events, one of our current events was Colin, K-A-L-N, who is a British owl. He's lived in this game preserve for 23 years. He's in perfectly good health for an owl. And everybody always referred to Colin as he. And then one day, Colin laid an egg. And the keepers said, he looked just as confused as we were. So you never know. Unfortunately, Colin will not get to sit on said egg because it hasn't been fertilized. But now Colin is a she, so I guess they'll call her Colinette. All right. So, angel number 2 destroys Sodom and Gomorrah, and angel number 3 is there to inform Lot, Mrs. Lot, and the 2 Lot daughters, older one and younger one. See, very often women in the Bible don't have names. It's very unfortunate. That they better get out of there. Except Mrs. Lot has a terrible thing happen to her. Which is what?
Curiosity salt.
Right. Well, you know, she was a Sodom girl. I mean, she grew up there. She attended Sodom High School. I think she was the captain of the cheerleader squad. Yeah, oh, yes. Okay, just like at Yeshiva University, we didn't have a cheerleader squad. Okay, so anyway, they go. Now, let me ask you, if you're about to leave your hometown, what do you take with you? Thoughts? Clothes, very good. Anything else? Valuable possessions. What? Well, don't forget we're biblical.
Cosmetics.
Yes. Cosmetics, yes. You're very concerned with how people look in the wilderness.
Well, support. You have to make a good impression.
I'm sorry, Yvonne. Something else.
Did they have important papers in those?
Oh, of course, they had a terrorist bag. Remember when we had to make up a terrorist bag? Ann Beth and I collected some money, and since the terrorists didn't come, we used it to tip the pizza guy. So it's rare to find a pizza guy who's a terrorist. What?
You would take your household idols.
Yes, gotta have your teraphim, weapons. Yes, weapons. You guys are great, except they don't. The only thing they decide to take, and I have yet to find a logical reason for it, is wine skins. You know, leather skins filled with wine.
Well, they're going to the desert. They're going to die of thirst otherwise.
Yes, you can't get manischewitz in the wilderness. Well, they didn't have canteens.
Thank God.
They had the leather bottles. Yes, now, because I'm a student of Hemingway, I know about the bota. The bota is a leather bag. You kind of tilt it up and you squirt it into your mouth. A thin stream of wine. Now, you got to work at it, because if you miss, you'll hit yourself in the eye with wine or up the nose with wine and so on. Well, anyway, they are pretty well convinced that they are the last 3 people on Earth. And so, when you're the last 3 people on Earth and you don't have cable, what is your first impulse? To propagate the species. Daughter 1 says to daughter 2, now since we are the... Oh, Steve, you can go out and come in again.
It's a week they have it.
Oh, it's all right. You look fine.
You're early.
We're going to talk about incest. If that bothers you,
Don't listen,
I'm sorry.
Stephen.
Incest is not always best. Okay. Well, so older daughter says to younger daughter, behold, we are the last 3 people on Earth. We must propagate the species. Ergo, we will get Papa drunk on the wine which we cleverly smuggled out of Sodom and Gomorrah. And then I will with him. And then tomorrow night we'll get him drunk again, and you will with him. Okay, so they do. And they give birth. Amazing, isn't it? The first baby they call Moab, which means from father. It may mean something else, but it's an etymological corruption. But I like the interpretation. The second one is called Ammon, which means people of whom? Okay, because the nun in this case is a naught. All right? Sort of, kind of. Oh, it's like Yehoshua.
Ammon is like kinfolk.
Kinfolk, yes. Well, you can't get any closer than they were.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll say.
They're plenty close. So this is where Moab comes from. And you know that when you were little in the schoolyard, what was the worst thing a child could call another child? Well, no, we weren't that sophisticated. A reference to their parents, okay? And that's why Moab, from father, is such a terrible insult, okay? We don't really know where they came from, but that is the interpretation we give. Good Shabbos. Well, so things move along, and the Moabites pretty much survive, succeed, what have you, but then Israel comes along, and now we run into what to do about your enemies. It's kind of like if you have a noisy neighbor, okay? You hire a pagan prophet, although the Talmud, the Midrash Tanchuma, refers to him as a magician. I don't think he was a magician. I think he was a real legitimate prophet because the Israelite God spoke with him. Okay, so Balak sends his wise men. This is the fairy tale part of the story. Balak sends his wise men to...
Was it?
No, the first part was totally true. Come on, are you disavowing my rabbis from elementary school? Okay, they left out the part about the, yes, how people come into being. All right. Okay, so what happens is that he sends the wise men. King Balak sends his wise men to Bilam, and Bilam says, wait a minute, stay the night. I have a big guest room. You guys settle in. We'll have a little dinner, a little whatever it is. And I will consult with the Israelite God. And the Israelite God says, don't do it. And the wise men go back and tell Balak. And Balak sends them again. This happens 3 times. It's not an unusual progression or pattern or rhythm in the Torah or other parts of the Bible either. Finally, King Balak comes himself, and he is not happy. And he says, come on, he says, I'm going to fill your house with gold up to here, and you're going to be so wealthy. And Bilam says, you got to understand, if I'm dealing with the Israelite God, as opposed to the Moabite God, who doesn't give prophecy because he doesn't exist, I have to do what God says. Now that tells us a lot about the prophecy business. If you're going to be Jeremiah or Isaiah, or especially Ezekiel, you are only a vessel. You are the bearer of the message. You don't make up the message yourself. Okay? Well, so God says, go, but do what I tell you. And the next day, maybe he doesn't say that. Maybe he doesn't appear. God's not happy with this whole enterprise of cursing the Israelites. It's not a good thing. So he saddles up his faithful donkey, who is female, by the way. And this is not a donkey. This is an onager. This is a very large steed and much more reliable than your horse. A horse is expensive and delicate. An onager eats everything. You throw away the lawnmower, you'll never need it again. So he gets on the donkey, and God sends an angel. Now this is not just any angel. This is a full-scale angel in a robe with a flaming sword. Come on, if you're going to be an angel, you want to have a flaming sword. You never know, it could be a dangerous neighborhood. So he's standing right there in the path, and Bilam does not see him, but the donkey does, and the donkey veers out of the way of the angel, and Bilam, still not seeing the angel, whacks the donkey on the backside several times with a stick, and then they continue on their way. Once again, the angel appears. The donkey shies and moves out of the way. Whack, whack, whack. Now the 3rd time, they're passing next to a garden wall. You know, one of those walls that Tennyson wrote about. Flower in the crannied wall, I pluck you out of the crannies. Flower in the crannied wall, if I saw you all in all, I should know what God and man is. I still don't know what that means. Okay, so he scrapes the prophetic leg against the stone wall. He gets a boo-boo. And Bilam does not like getting a boo-boo. So he whacks the donkey again and again. The donkey turns her head around, looks Bilam full in the face, and says in perfectly acceptable Hebrew, why are you whacking me? And Bilam said, I am your faithful donkey who has carried you for lo these many years. Got to throw in a lo, okay? And Bilam says, I'm so angry with you, if I had a sword, I would kill you. Now, he doesn't say, why are you talking? He doesn't say, how did you suddenly develop the powers of speech? He doesn't say, I won't be lonely anymore. Okay, so then he sees the angel, all right? This is very similar to the episode where Annabeth said to me, we were in the house, okay? We were in the great room, the living room. And she points and says, look over there. I said, where? She says, over there. I said, where? She says, over there. Finally, she takes me by the arm and takes me to this pillar. And she had made a very lovely arrangement of Jewish stars. And I said to her, oh, that's gorgeous. I said, how long has that been up? She said, six months. So, you see, men are wired. We think great thoughts. We have visions. We plan. Women, if you want anything done, go to a woman. Okay? Because the man is out there like a moon calf. All right. So Bilam falls off the donkey and worships. And the angel says, now listen to me. I'm not going to say it again. Go see King Balak, but only say what God tells you to say. And Bilam says, got it. So he goes, and Balak says, welcome, prophet. We're going to have a nice dinner, and then you'll sleep, and then we'll wake up in the morning. I have 3 conveniently placed hills. I have several cows and sheep and oxen, and you'll curse Israel. And Bilam says, we'll see. The next morning they do that, they go, and he makes sacrifices, the whole shebang, and Bilam, instead of cursing the Israelites, he says, really nice poetry. I have to say, there's a lot of biblical poetry out there, and clearly the poetry either post-dated or predated the story, because that's very often the case, but it is really, really nice. Plus, as you know, it includes the famous line that we start the service with. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. How goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. But that's it. That's the only part that made it into the prayer book. But the fact that it's said by a pagan priest, pagan prophet, is a big deal. Well, Balak is not happy. And he says, I guess you understand, I'm not going to pay you. And Bilam says, hey, it was enough for me to recite a really nice poem. And it gets into the Torah. And they go their separate ways. But that's the story as far as... now, this is a Chabad paper. The Chabad say that one of his poems refers to Mashiach, to Messiah. I don't see it. I know it says, Kochav Yetzei in Yisrael, a star shall emerge from Israel, but it's a star. It's metaphorical, whatever, maybe Bar Kochba. All right. Now, this is the part where I hope I don't have to card you. Everybody here is over 21. All right? Well, the Moabites can't get the Israelites by cursing them, so they go Plan B. Plan B consists of sending, these are not nice, sweet, adorable Moabite girls. This is more like the cast of the Best Little in Texas, okay? And they go out, they do a little dance, and they entice the Israelites, and the Israelite men, as they always do, have relations with the Moabite girls. But the whole thing comes to a head when the following takes place. There is an Israelite by the name of Zimri ben Salu, who allegedly is a prince of Israel, and he finds a Midianite princess. See, there are 2 stories that kind of got telescoped into one. A Midianite princess named Cosbi bat Tzur. You can't forget a Hebrew name like Cosbi, all right? It's amazing how few Jewish parents name their kid Cosbi. All right. With good reason. Well, they're in front of the shrine, they're in front of the Mishkan, they're doing, you know, stuff, activities, you know, consenting adults. And Pinchas, who is Aaron's grandson, and he's not up for duty in the Mishkan. He will be, but right now he can be tameh, he can be ritually impure. Vayikach romach biado. He took a lance, not just a spear, a lance into his hand. And while the 2 of them are on the ground, he chin, which is what I call the shish kebab mafia. And the thing is, this was always the time of year when we would have bar bat mitzvahs. And I'm sitting there with this adorable 12, 13-year-old child, and she says to me, Rabbi, what does my maftir mean? and I say, what's my maftir about? And I would say, oh, it's about 3 verses. Why don't we look at this part instead? Okay. All right, this is Balak. You can't miss it.
What's
Donkey.
the name of the maftir?
Oh, the whole thing is Balak. The whole Torah portion is Balak.
And what's
The maftir is the last 3 verses, as the maftir always is, and it's the shish kebab
And
part.
what's the haftorah?
I have to look.
No, the Haftarah is different.
Yeah.
Tomorrow
Yes.
you're gonna know tomorrow.
Yes, the haftarah is a lot cleaner than the rest of the Torah portion. I'm sorry?
It's not Pinchas?
Oh, no. Pinchas comes later.
But this is like the, how do you say, the preface to
Yes,
Pinchas.
the
So,
Vorschleis.
yes, it's the first, it's the like it's finished, and then to be continued. The next.
Yes. Now Pinchas, I have to say very quickly, that Pinchas is the portion from which we get the maftir for every single yontif except for Hanukkah, which is Nasa. Okay? So even if you don't like Pinchas, and he's really not on my A-list, we are indebted to him for all those maftirs. Because they describe the particular korban, the particular offering, sacrifice that was made on that holiday.
Okay, because that was my son's haftorah.
Oh, that's very
and
nice.
his name is Pinchas.
Oh, better and
So
better.
That will be for
That's
the
great.
next week.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah.
have you kept him away from sharp objects?
He wouldn't go near them.
Good, I'm
Not
glad
this
to hear.
one. The other one they
Right, thank you so much, and the cantor will take over. Okay,
Julian,
can you produce any angels?
Yes, it's only a little angel.
All right, we're going to light candles. All right, let's see. Gail, would you like to light the candles? Please rise as we go over this way.
Will I be in the way?
You want to hold this? I'm going to go over there with the women. So just stand here and hold this up. Come over here. You don't need a book. Come here. Hold this up like that.
What do you want me to do?
Hold it up like that, because I'm going to go with the woman.
Okay, sorry for the delay. Here we go. We wave our hands, bringing Shabbat.
Anu vitzivanu lahadlik ner, vitzivanu lahadlik ner, vitzivanu lahadlik ner, shel Shabbat. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, good job.
What does this say, Solomon? Something I do not like?
Kebab? Whatever that is. I don't know what that is.
He's talking about. Sometimes I really don't know what to say.
Good job.
Okay.
Alechem Lechem Shalom Alechem Elyon Akadosh Baruch Hu Shalom 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 Lechem Elyon Akadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem Elyon, Akadosh Baruch Hu, Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Shalom, Aleichem Elyon, Akadosh Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 ay.
Page 21, the Lachato D.
Shabbat ne Kabbalah, Kodi ne Chadada, Shabbat ne Kabbalah. Kala, Pene Shabbat ne Kabbalah, Lekadodi, Lekakala, Pene Shabbat ne Kabbalah, Lekashabbat, Lekadodi, Lekakala, Pene Shabbat ne Kabbalah, Lekadodi, Lekakala, Pene Shabbat ne Kabbalah.
Page 22, fourth stanza, face the door through which the Sabbath king will enter. Holy Shabbat. Paul, would you and Al open the ark, please? Bow towards, oh, and the curtain. Curtain too? Yes. Bow towards the ark.
Let's add it on.
let's find a different piece of poetry. Yeah, this is kind of nice. Page 241. It's the second paragraph beginning with "O God." All right, page 241, second paragraph. We'll read it. It's fairly short, 4 lines. We'll read it together.
O God, from whom all peace flows, grant serenity to your Jewish people with love and mercy, life and goodness for all. Shelter us with kindness, bless us with tranquility at all times and all seasons. We praise you, God, whose blessing is peace.
Back to 28.
Baruch Adonai, Amahari,
That was very nice. You glued together, what, 2 or 3 different nigunim? Two. Only a third one. Exactly. No, it's wonderful. I can't do it. Okay, page 29. Yes, definitely. Not from a horse.
Avat Olam
Adonai Nimtzov v'hakol mishpaitim Otanim mayata Elkeinu Adonai Eloheinu V'shavim v'ukev-kelneinu V'shev v'kenu v'gah V'shadelim v'v'techa U'b'dreis mitzvotecha Le'olam va'ed Ki ai galenu v'yemeinu v'zunenu U'nu v'v'neinu Yomenu
Al tasim mimenu leolamim Baruch Adonai
Page 30, cover the eyes. Shema
Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruto Leolam Va'ed.
Reading in the English. You shall
Love
love
Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall teach them diligently to your children. Recite them at home and way, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates.
We'll continue silently to the end of the 16th paragraph, which is
Adonai Elohim Emet be'emuna kol sot bekayam Aleinu Ki hu Adonai Eloheinu Bein zulatot V'anachnu Yisrael Amon.
we're in the middle of 32, I think.
Yes.
Oka Kalim Adonai, Mi Kamoka, Nedar Kahodesh, Nora Tahilo, O Sefele, Nora Tahilo, O Sefele.
As always, we'll go around and folks can mention the names of friends, family, Jewish, Gentile, anyone at all in need of Refu'ahShelemah, quick and speedy recovery. Think about our dear friend Laura Durant, who I believe is home, and also Howard E. Lackman. When I did the service of John Knox, I was glad to meet him and Roseanne. I mean, I met him before, obviously, and also their dog Radar, who is an Australian cattle dog. Yes, and they brought along some Australian cattle for him. All right, anyone else? All right, Murray, you have anyone? No, okay. No, that guy, okay.
All right, Martin Baker, Mandy Wexler,
Refu'ahShelemah.
Fred Olson.
Yeah, Merle Klein.
Yes. Okay, no, okay. Yes.
Michelle J. Gomez,
Refu'ahShelemah.
Diana Nix.
Refu'ahShelemah.
Joe Cousins, Judy Cousins,
Refu'ahShelemah.
Arlene Carl.
Refu'ahShelemah.
Merle Klein.
Refu'ahShelemah.
Laura, did you mention?
Yes.
Okay.
Refu'ahShelemah.
Joel Shankman.
Refu'ahShelemah.
That's it. Can't think
And
of it.
James Basmagian. Refu'ahShelemah. Okay. Let's read the English paragraph. Top left, 33. Help us, Adonai.
Lie down in peace, and awaken us again, our sovereign to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, starvation, sword, and sorrow.
Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Amen. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, praise sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo.
Amen.
34.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת, לדורתם ברית עולם. ויאמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורתם ברית עולם. שמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורתם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השבת
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש,
שבת וינפש, שמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Please rise, half cottage, bottom of 34.
יגאל ויתקדש שמך ועל מה דיברה חילותי וימליך מלכותך לך ירום יומך ובכל בית ישראל בגלה ובשר קריב במרוח אמן. יש מרבה ומבורך מעולם ומעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשם לילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונאמתה תמירה לעולם
The Amidah, the standing silent prayer, beginning on 35b and completed on 38. When you're finished, you may be seated.
Grant true and lasting peace to your people Israel and to all who dwell on earth, for you are the supreme sovereign of peace. May it please you to bless your people Israel and all the world in every season and at all times with your gift of peace. Praise are you, Adonai, who bless the people of Israel and all the whole world with peace.
Amen.
Amen.
Yisrael Lecha Asi Leolam Shalom Yisrael Lecha Asi Leolam
Ki atahu melech gadol lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech gadol lechol hashalom.
Shalom Yisrael Lecha Asi Leolam Yisrael Lecha Asi Leolam
Betov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
Shalom Yisrael Lecha Asi Leolam Shalom Yisrael Lecha Asi Leolam Asi Leolam
Tasi Baruch atah Adonai המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, 47. We're just going right to 48.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם ברמה. מעלמא נברא כבודו וימליך מלכותו וחייקון וימיכון וחיי לכל בית ישראל. ועליו ישמע גלים וימרו.
יש מרבה מבורך לעולם יומי מיה יתברך
יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ונתנשא ויתהלל ויתעלה לשם קודשה. לילה מן כל מלכתה ושינתה ושמחתה ולחימתה מן המרמה וימרו. תתקבל אצלו דרומותו לכל ישראל כדם עמוד משמעיה וימרו. וישלמה רבה מן שמעיה וחיים עלינו על כל ישראל וימרו. עושה
שלום ממרומה יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ונרשם נראה וימרו אמן. יעשה שלום ממרומה יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ונרשם נראה וימרו אמן.
All right, 49 is the Kiddush, and we'll wait for a while.
אולי הוא יקרא פסטה או פסטה?
Inside blue is juice, outside is wine.
When does inside become outside?
Juice is blue.
Oh, God.
Outside is wine,
Inside blue is juice, outside is wine.
I know. You're a man, well, you know, you're not supposed to.
What?
Listen.
Listen, I'll jump.
Wine.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם
Hurry, Amen.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצנו ושבת קודשו ואהבה ברצון מבחיננו זיכרון למעשה בראשית יגרום תחייה ולקרוא
was good.
Okay.
Worry about your Jewish points. Okay.
All right, we'll move on. We've got an Elena in here somewhere.
Outside.
Page 51. All right, 51.
You're welcome.
Stevie, why don't you open Yashikoa to Dr. Lichtenstein.
We had it quiet tonight.
Yes, that was very nice.
Quiet and if we do that, it's a required.
Bada boom. Okay, for a solemn note, we're saying the Mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 52. Yitkadav v'yitkadash shmei rabba omein yomad yivrach v'rutei v'yamdin v'rutei v'chayechon v'mechon v'chayei t'chol beit Yisrael v'agalo b'zman karev v'yimru amen Yehei shmei rabba mevorach v'yolam ha'yomaya Yitborach v'yishalach v'yitbar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Yitadar, Yitalem, Yitalal, Shvei, Dekudisha, Berichu, Elam, Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechamata, Damiran, V'yamla, V'yamru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, Chayim Aleinu, V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yamru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'yamav, Uyaseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yal Kol Yisrael, All right, before the cantor leads us to the Adon Olam, we're going to hear some lovely information from our dear president, Rita Fleming.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
It's wonderful to be here with you. I love it. I'm sorry I was so busy a little bit before. We want to thank Myra and Harvey staff for furnishing our conference room in the back. It's now quite beautiful. You'll see it when you come for coffee. Take a look. Not quite set up yet, but it's really beautiful. And thank you, Myra. Thank you, Harvey, for this very, very much. For everyone watching at home, good Shabbos. Wonderful hello to Laura and to her son Mark, to Roseanne and Howard Ellickman, and to everyone who is watching tonight and has heard the wonderful service from Rabbi and Cantor and the wonderful harmonizing from Rabbi Cantor and Dr. Lichtenstein. If you were with us this Thursday last night for Dr. Lichtenstein's lecture, you know that it was magic. We cannot thank you enough. The comments that I've gotten and the phone calls that I've gotten about it are, how come there's only 3? Couldn't he do 6? So, but the third one is this Thursday night. The last in this particular series, unless we can talk you into another one, maybe. In this series of 3 on the Dead Sea Scrolls, it was eye-opening for everyone there. Dr. Lichtenstein spoke to everyone in the audience, no matter what their religious affiliation was, because our histories are all so connected. And this Thursday is going to be on the hereafter. So, who could miss that? Not me. Not me. I want to know. Tomorrow, after our traditional Saturday service, Rabbi's class will be on.
Okay, we did Ram Dass, Dr. Richard Alpert last week. This week we're going to finish him up, so to speak, with some of his wise sayings. I would love to do Starhawk because she's a Jewish Wiccan. And if there's time, we can do the Vietnamese Buddhist teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh.
Okay. Can you miss that? I don't think so. Rabbi's classes are wonderful. Come, be with us. Come on Monday and Thursday morning at 8:45 for Arminian, so that we can keep this important tradition going in Temple. We need 10 of you. We'd love to have 20 of you. But 10 will be fine. It'll be Diana, that would be good. So come and be with us. Thursday, August 1st, Cantor will be having his first class, a Spanish class, Spanish and chips, 1 o'clock, a light Latin-flavored lunch accompanied by our delightful Cantor, who's going to help us to be a little more bilingual. So please sign up. I'm signing up, definitely, and we'd love to have your company. On Wednesday night at 4:30, Rabbi's class on Modern Hebrew, and 7 o'clock on current events. Check the bulletins, check the website, come join us for everything that you can. A sweet Shabbos.
Thank you, Rita. That was wonderful. I'm so sorry I missed Dr. Lichtenstein's lecture, but I know if I came there would be a final in the paper.
Yeah. And in a personal and community note, there are some people that they come here every Monday and Thursdays for Minyan, and we were talking about that yesterday, because yesterday marked a very tragic and sad page in the history of my country and in the history of Jewish people. That is the 25th anniversary of the bombing of the AMIA. The AMIA was the association that put together all the communities from Argentina. And it was not just a political gathering, it was a social it was a place where was the center of the education, the center of all the different religious denomination, the center for looking for a job, the center of the social working network for the Jewish community. And one day, at 9:53 in a cold 18th of July, a bomb, a suicide car hits the building that was the army that was going that year to celebrate the first 100 years of an organization, yes, an organized organization, and 25 years, and we don't have neither one person in jail. The only fiscal that was, the only prosecutor that was going to provide apparently real proofs of the connection of Iran and with the Hezbollah to do this was murdered 3 years ago when he was going to declare against or to prove that the government was part of trying to hide the real what really happened. And I was the other day in the commemoration of this terrible situation, this terrible part in our history, and one of the speakers, he says something that probably you know, that a delayed justice is a denied
yes,
is a denied justice. So when the justice doesn't come on time, it's like it doesn't come never. Yes, it's like it didn't come. In this case, it's still not coming, the justice. Nothing is going to give back the life of these 85 people that they pass away, that and they were not just Jewish people. I mean, they were people that they were working there, and not being Jewish, and they were just people, they were walking in the street, going to another point, and the bomb exploded and took with the other lives their lives. And I think that, and the only thing that we got 25 years, after 25 years, is that the actual president is going to, in a decree, is going to decree that Argentina should declare Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. And I laugh about that, but many countries, the Hezbollah is not considered as a terrorist organization. They are considered like an organization that they are fighting for the rights of some other people, and not a terrorist organization. And if you connect what's happening in Argentina, and 2 years before in Argentina, also in Buenos Aires with the embassy of Israel, the bombing of the embassy of Israel, and the growing, the rise of the anti-Semitism or anti-Zionism that is the same in the rest of the world, and the terrorists in general, you might know, or you might understand that if we give a chance to don't remember, to forget what was going on, this is going to continue to happen. The only arm, yes, that we have against them is the Hasbara, to explain, to say, to tell, to try to educate, to try to, and of course to fight all the legal ways that we can find, and to be secure as much as we can, but it's not to forget, to remember with passion, yes, and to share it to everybody. Yes, so it's a sad coin on a Shabbat, yes, a sad tone on a Shabbat, but it must be said, yes, because if not, you don't know. So Adoram.
Page 54 is the Adon
Adon Olam
Asher Barav, V'Teruso Yitzimina, V'Zaytov V'Tesono, Adon Nevav Imo Mekra, V'Hereles Imo Nekra, V'Yaharei Ki Ha'Yo, V'Evado Yimo Nora, V'Huaya V'Hu V'Hu Yeya B'Tiferet, V'Hu Yeya B'Tiferet, V'Hu Yeya B'Tishrei, V'Nafshimo V'Nafnira, V'Hu Reshit V'Nitavi, V'Noah V'Nafisha, V'Noah
Lord bless you and keep you. Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. We'll say Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Good
Shabbat.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Practice hard.
Are you tired?
I have my regular program.
I